I've always been a fan of 80s movies, from Weird Science to Teen Witch, but my favorite has always been Back to the Future. I mean, there's a time-traveling DeLorean, not to mention a really awesome hoverboard and some rockin' 80s music. So take me away, I don't mind, but you better promise me you'll be back in time. Now, Robert Zemeckis, who directed the trilogy, and Universal Stage Productions, which has worked on a bunch of different blockbuster musicals like Wicked, for example, are teaming up to work on the Back to the Future musical, which is coming out in 2015 in the West End, just in time for Back to the Future's 30th anniversary, which is very, very exciting. And it could come to Broadway, which I really, really hope it does, because who would not want to see Marty and Doc doing some elaborate dance sequence to Back in Time with a prop DeLorean and crazy theatrical lights, and I know that I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. So Jamie Lloyd, a director in London who's worked on a bunch of different stage productions, is going to be directing the musical, and he's going to be working with Robert Zemeckis and the original screenwriter for the film, Bob Gale, to create the book for the musical. Original songs from the movie by Huey Lewis and the News and Chuck Berry will be in the production, but Alan Silvestri and Glenn Ballard will be working on original songs to add to the show. Alan Silvestri actually worked on the original Back to the Future movies as a composer, and he's since worked on Forrest Gump, he's worked on Captain America, and most recently he worked on The Avengers. Glenn Ballard has also done a lot of work with some big stars like Alanis Morissette and Michael Jackson. What's pretty unique for this musical is that they actually had to hire a skateboard consultant. Alright, for those of you who don't really know much about Back to the Future, here's the rundown. The movie, directed by Robert Zemeckis, came out in 1985, starring Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly and Christopher Lloyd as Dr. Emmett Brown. Great Scott! So Doc Brown is this brilliant scientist who's figured out how to time travel, and instead of having a TARDIS or something like that, he decides his time-traveling machine is a DeLorean, which is pretty amazing. I mean, those doors are so cool! Armed with plutonium and going 88 miles per hour, you can travel back in time, or you can go into the future, whatever you'd like. So, of course, Marty accidentally travels back in time and ends up in the 50s, where his parents are young teenagers now, and they haven't even met yet. So Marty kind of messes things up, and he gets in the way of his parents' meeting, which essentially means bad news for him, because if he doesn't fix it, he's not gonna exist anymore! The whole plan is that he needs to get them back together before the end of the school dance, Enchantment Under the Sea. Otherwise, he's done. He won't exist anymore. Obviously, things work out because we have a Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3. In Part 2, Marty has to travel to the future, and in Part 3, he goes way into the past to, like, cowboy times. Alright, moving from sci-fi to superheroes, the Batman vs. Superman movie has gotten some new cast members. Jesse Eisenberg, best known for The Social Network, Zombieland, has been cast as Lex Luthor in the movie. Lex Luthor, of course, is Superman's most famous villain. He is rich, he is sophisticated, he is evil! There's a lot of mixed thoughts right now about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. We'll see the movie and we'll decide afterwards. And of course, because it is Batman vs. Superman, we need some Batman casting news in there. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the moon on the grave. And of course, Jeremy Irons has been cast as Alfred, Batman's butler, his bud, his father figure, his mentor, if you will. Let me know what you think, if these actors are the right choice to play these iconic DC characters. And the last thing I want to talk about is a live-action animated film coming out. We've already had the Smurfs and Alvin and the Chipmunks, and now there's talks of a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, which would be really cool. What I think is really great about that is, you know, people grew up with the Smurfs, people grew up with Alvin and the Chipmunks and Chip and Dale, and it's cool when you're older and those movies kind of make a comeback in a new way so that younger audiences can fall in love with those characters too. It's bringing old cartoons to a new generation. Alright, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to comment below. I want to know, what do you think about the new Back to the Future musical? What was your favorite song off of the original Back to the Future soundtrack? What do you think about this new Batman vs. Superman casting news? Are you excited to see the film? And what do you think about a new Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie? Please subscribe. I will leave my social media links below if you want to check them out. Alright, see ya!